you got something else you want to show us.
Yeah. So this is something pretty weird, and I believe this is one of 2 in the world.
Wow.
It's a 1928 Tricone. Originally would have been like a resonator.
Okay.
Right? So, and the difference between a Tricone and there's, you know, just dobros, there's resonators. There's a difference in between, like, whether you play it like this. Oh, sorry. You don't need elbows. Whether you would play it in your lap with a slide and high action.
Okay.
That would be a dobro.
Yeah.
Because dobro is a brand.
Okay.
But it's also
Kind of like Kleenex.
yes.
Yeah.
So, dobro.
And dobro's like a lap steel, essentially.
Yes.
Kinda. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's a guitar, yeah.
You will see wooden. You'll have like it looks like an acoustic body with a square neck.
Okay.
Because that would be either a Hawaiian neck or a square neck.
Okay.
I think I did that right. Or Spanish neck. That's sort of that's what the Gibson ES comes from. It's
Okay.
electric Spanish.
Spanish, yeah.
Spanish
right.
neck versus I think Hawaiian neck.
Okay,
which would
yeah.
be slide.
Yeah.
So the Tricone part is because I don't know if you can see in there. There's actually 3 little resonators.
Wow, yeah.
As opposed to just one big resonator.
And what's a resonator? It makes the sound.
Yeah, that gives it that like.
Yeah.
Sort of the way that banjo resonators have. Just
Okay.
to amplify.
Gotcha.
More than wood would be.
Yeah.
So this is a 1928 Tricone body.
And what's that made out of?
Just metal, aluminum, something.
Jeez.
And then this is a consignment thing, but the person who brought it in had a local guy put a 5-string neck on it.
Versus the
so they made in this. If you found this originally, this one would have had 4 strings on it.
Okay.
Like either you could tune it like a tenor banjo or tune it like a tenor guitar, just 4-string tenor.
Gotcha.
So you can see they've like doubled up some of the
2 strings.
the 2 strings on the one.
So they didn't have to replace the tailpiece.
So you didn't have to replace the tailpiece.
Yeah.
And they definitely like put another groove in the, because the bridge, whereas this, the saddle, these strings sit on this and on top of the soundboard like an acoustic would or something, so it vibrates.
Yeah.
This has that same mechanism under here, and they've put another groove in.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
It's definitely wild. It's definitely one of a kind, or 2 of a kind.
And how's there 2? So they made it.
He had 2, and
he made 2.
Wow. And it's like I'm gonna strum it more than banjo, but it definitely. Whereas the banjo with a resonator or not, it has that pluck to it because of the drum head.
Okay, right.
Just the way that is.
Yeah, because most banjos are circle and have the drum head. And
some open back, some resonator.
Okay.
That's a volume thing. Tone also, and then there's other parts to it, but basically it's volume.
Right.
So this gives you that more like. Still have some aspect of the banjo thing.
Yeah.
But with, it's a resonator.
Yeah.
So
it's great. 1928.
1928.
That's crazy.
1928. You start getting guitars that are like, 100 years old or almost, and it's like, a couple years ago we had a collection of mandolins, and I always say the oldest one, but it's not the oldest one. The youngest one was from like the mid-20s.
Oh, wow.
So we're talking 1908, 1911,
wow,
1918.
Jeez.
And then you start being like, this is 100 years old.
Yeah.
The tree that they cut down is way more than that.
Right, yeah.
And you start...
Wood's been around,
whoa, it's...
So that's really cool. So
very, very
did he have the original neck, you think?
I think he probably still does.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I hope so, yeah.
A lot of times, like with older banjos that were 4 strings, a lot of people will buy them and they're called conversion necks. Okay. Because it converts it to a 5-string.
Which is what people play most of the time.
Which is more traditional,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get into, especially in the Appalachian Mountains, there's like little segments of bluegrass. I think it's old time, which is a closer descendant of like the original, like Scottish Celtic thing, as opposed to a newer like Scruggs, finger roll.
So you're saying the old time one would use the 4-string more so?
Potentially.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
I'm not that. We have a friend that's an ethnomusicologist.
Okay.
He's written a book about all kinds of crazy stuff.
Oh, wow.
He would be the guy. But there's basically that. you know, depending on, because some banjos are scooped out for a different playing style.
And that would be each fret is scooped, you mean?
It's like down, that's that one up there. So it's like scooped out at the bottom of the fretboard.
Yeah, so
you
right here it's
you're
scooped
playing
out,
here as opposed to going like that like 3-finger roll.
You're doing the strum thing.
Which even then like the 3-finger is a completely different than when they like
the finger picking stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So
crazy. I've never
banjos.
played the banjo,
I
can't translate the two.
Even though it's less common, the 4-string ones are a little easier because you can tune them. There's different tunings, but I go with the one that's like a bass upside down, or like a mandolin. So you can at least try to think about normal guitar chords on something that you're totally not familiar with.
Well, it's a great store, man, and you're a wonderful host, you're a wonderful guest. You got some incredible instruments.
The worst part is you only get one of them.
I know.
You know, you get one and then it's gone.
How do you not keep them all? How do you not take them all home?
I mean, have you seen the things that I've been saying? Like, you cherry pick, like, you can't cherry pick everything.
I know. How do you make money if you cherry pick everything?
You don't.
You don't?
No, you have to have a very, you know, it's cool because you get to play stuff like this and go like, what would that be like? And you go, oh, it's a sweet guitar, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
Right?
And you enjoy it for a couple weeks and then it's gone.
And again, like back to the whole, it's more about providing a service. It's like, it's cool to sell stuff. Yes, I'm making I'm living off of people giving me money for things that they don't have to have. Right?
Yeah.
But really, it's more of like, music is such a personal thing for some people, or like a means of expression that like, when you found that guitar and you felt that it had that thing, right? And you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna go home and do this all weekend. Right?
Yeah.
It's more about like finding that connection, or whether it's a new pedal, or like I'm looking for an amp, or like I'm getting a guitar. Just that's the more important thing.
I bet you build a lot of relationships with people because you're tied into their passion somehow. Like
absolutely, there's absolutely that. Like you go out to a show somewhere, and it's like, oh, you're all in a band together.
Yeah, right.
And I've sold you all of those things. Or, you know, there's a guy that I sold him his first tube amp when he was, whatever, 15 or 16. And I told him, this is the only tube amp technically you may ever need to buy.
Right.
And he still has it.
That's
and
awesome.
He still plays with it. And
That's great.
we serviced it the other week. And it's like, it's the only tube amp he's ever bought.
That's cool.
You know? So.
Well, beautiful Gretsch. With 65 with the 57 badge, you were saying, and the wonderful pickups and condition, the amazing 1928 banjo.
Tricone, I was Tricone. It's definitely a 28 Tricone 5-string.
Now it's
conversion.
A 5-string. Yeah,
I guess that might be the term, but
that's exceptional. I mean, only being 2 of them. Mm-hmm. And I wonder how many Tricones that are still 4-string there even are from the 20s.
Not a lot. So like if you found one of these with a 6-string guitar neck, they're like $4,000.
Holy cow!
Because they're from the 20s.
Yeah, right.
You know, and it's metal.
And I've never seen one. I've never seen.
They're definitely not. I mean, you could go into like somewhere in Nashville, and there's going to be a store that has a couple.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but when we get them, if this had a 6-string neck on it, it would have been long gone.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Just because you don't see them, and if that's on your short list, and you walk in and go, oh,
there it is. Yeah.
You're taking it home, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, man, we're happy to see your success.
Thank you.
We think your store's beautiful.
I appreciate it.
Guitars are beautiful, and it's been excellent talking to you.
You too.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys next episode on the local pickup. Mr. Chris, you want to say something beautiful as we thumbs up is good? Tim, you want to not say anything? Well done. Well done. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.